Hey James. This is just some other notes on slope. So to make sure that you really understand it, slope is a huge eighth grade topic, so you really have to understand this. So I have color coded the formula a little bit, and we're going to talk about that and break that down. I also want you to correlate that the slope is the same thing as the unit rate. So this is the same thing as the unit rate. That's why another way that a question that you ask for slope is when they say rate of change. So that's why sometimes when they're asking for slope, they say, give me the rate of change. Okay, so we went over that in your other notes. So anyways, so this is the formula with your y sub 2 minus your y sub 1 divided by your x sub 2 minus your x sub 1. If you look here, I have your sub 2's coded in blue. So just code it in blue. Let me just make sure that I make that a 2 right here. Okay, so those are your sub 2's. They're coded in blue. Your sub 1's are coded in red. So if you follow the same process, because math is a science, so not all science is math, but math is a science. Once you know the rules, and you apply the rules every time, it works. So let's go with problem 1 right here. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is just get the same setup. So I want you to do m equals, and I want you to draw your fraction bar, which means divide, and I want you to put your minus signs from the formula in the middle. Okay, now again, I've made your sub 1's red and your sub 2's blue. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be x sub 1 because that's the first order pair, y sub 1. That's my red. And then this is going to be x sub 2, y sub 2 in the blue. All right, so now all you're doing now is plugging in. So you're plugging in, m, remember, is the letter for your slope. So I'm plugging in my blues. Remember, y's are on top. So I'm just going to do a positive 2 here. Blues go together, so the 9 goes down at the bottom. Just remember, y's are on top. Y's are on top. Then I'm going to get my red, and I'm going to do the same thing. So now I want to do my y sub 1 and then my x sub 1. So my y sub 1 is positive 1. So I'm going to put and then my x sub 1 is 3. And then now all you have to do is answer it and then simplify if you have to. So this equals 2 minus 1 is just going to give you 1. And then 9 minus 3 will give me 6. So I cannot simplify that. That is as far as I can go. So my m equals 1 divided by 6. My slope equals 1 divided by 6. It's just that simple. Follow processing again. Do it the same way. So m equals, put my division fraction bar, put my minus signs in the middle from the formula just to get that in sync. Remember, your sub 1's are in red, so x is always first. And then your sub 2's are in blue. Remember, x is always first. And then now we're going to plug in. We're going to plug in because our formula starts with the sub 2's first. So y is on top, y is the numerators. So negative 1 because that's a negative. And then 2. And then I'm going to do my 3 because that's y sub 1. And I'm going to do my negative 2. Now, when you have double negatives right here, you want to be sure that you change those into positives because double negatives cancel each other out. Remember, I told you it's negative 1 times negative 1. So you want to change both of these to positives right here. Okay? Put my equal sign, and now I'm solving. These signs are the same, so I add them and keep my sign. So that's 1 plus 3 is 4. Both of these are negative, so that's a negative 4. Put your division sign. And then 2 plus 2 will give me 4. So my m equals negative 4 divided by 4. But I can simplify. So basically, what I'm doing is I want to make sure that I simplify these. And all I'm doing is dividing by a number that can divide into both of these evenly, which is 4. So I'm going to divide this by 4, my denominator, divide this by 4. So my answer here would equal negative 4 divided by 4. My numerator would be negative 1. And then 4 divided by 4 will be 1. So my m equals negative 1 divided by 1. Okay? Follow the same process again. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our setup. So I didn't give myself a lot of room, but we can make it. Division minus minus. Reds are going to be my sub 1s, X's first. Y's are going to be my sub 2s, X's first. So now from here, I'm going to plug in my sub 2s first. So my y is on top, so it'll be negative 2. And then 0 as my denominator. And then that is going to be 6. And then 4. Now I'm going to solve it. I'm going to bring it down since I didn't give myself a lot of room. Then I'm going to say my m equals negative minus a negative, which is adding and keeping the sign. So that'll be negative 8. I should have put this as black, but okay. And then 0 minus 4 will give me negative 4. And we'll stop. Hello? Okay, so let's pick up from where we left off. So m equals negative 8 divided by negative 4. You know that negative 4 can divide evenly into both negative 8 and negative 4. So we are going to divide both of these by negative 4. Divide the denominator by negative 4. Divide the numerator by negative 4. So that means that this equals negative 8, which was a negative, sorry. So negative 8 divided by negative 4 will give me a positive 2. And then negative 4 divided by negative 4 will give me a positive 1. So my slope for this one, my m, equals 2 divided by 1. Now, James, if these three are the same processes as these. The only difference is these gave you the order pair. These, you just have to write them down. So when you have a table, make sure, first of all, that they're already in numerical order from least to greatest by X's, and they are. And all you do, I train you all to pick just the first 2 order pair and write them down and start the same process over. So the first 2 order pair. So my first order pair is going to be, remember, X's is a first, so it'll be 0 and 82. And then my next order pair will be 3 and 76. And then I'm starting the same process over that I did up top, if you remember. So therefore, I'm sure you remember. So this is X1, Y1, remember, in red. So I'm gonna kind of like, I'm just gonna kind of do these. And then because it's the exact same thing. And then you're gonna do, I don't know if the next one's I'm not even gonna color code. And then it's gonna be X2, Y2. So you have your m equals. So now you should be kind of getting used to the process. It's easy. Just putting subtractions. And so then now I'm going to start with my blue. I'm going to put 76, which is my y, and then 3. And then I'm going to put my reds and do the same. So it's 82 and 0. Then I'm going to be just subtracting to get my answer. Now, 76 minus 82, I look at it like money. So 76 is smaller than 82 and you're subtracting. So that means that my answer is going to be a negative. I don't have enough positive to take care of that negative number. So 82 minus 76 will give me 6, but it's going to be a negative 6. Okay, and then I'm going to put my division sign, and then 3 minus 0 is just 3. And then again, remember, we'll be able to divide into there evenly. 3 can, so I'm going to divide my denominator by 3. I'm going to divide my numerator by 3. So my m for this particular one, and I'm going to do that down here since I think you have it. So my m equals negative 6 divided by 3 will give me negative 2. And then 3 divided by 3 will give me 1. Okay. Now, on these other ones, just for time's sake, I think you should have it. I'm just going to just do them. Now, it doesn't matter which ones you make your sub 1s or sub 2s here. You just got to make sure that you just pick one. So always remember that your X's, so I am going to do those in a color that it's going to be. So my order pair here, I'm just going to write these down. Doesn't matter which one I write first. It really doesn't. So I'm going to write this as 2 and 4, which will give me X1, Y1. And then I'm going to write this down as 4 and 8. And then that's going to give me X2, Y2. And then now I'm going to plug in, looking at my formula. Don't forget you have your formula up top if you ever need to go back. So this is going to be my M equals. And then I'm going to do here, subtract. I'm going to have my 8 and 4 that's here. And then I'm going to have, so I have my 8 and 4 from there, and then I'm going to do my 4 and 2. And then I'm going to actually just, 8 minus 4 will give me 4. 4 minus 2 will give me 2. So 2 can divide even into, so I'm going to divide this by 2, divide this by 2. So my m equals 2 divided by 1. It's just that simple. Okay. Do the same thing for this last one. See if I can get me some space here. I'm infamous for doing that with the spacing, but whatever. So then I'm going to write this as 4 and 7. Doesn't matter which one I write first. So I'm going to do x1, y1, because it's my first order pair. And I'm going to write this down as 2 and 4, x2, y2. And then I'm going to plug in. So I'm going to have m equals here. Put my subtract, and make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to have 4 and 2, so y, and then 2, right? Y is on top. And then I'm going to follow that pattern, 7 and 4. And that ends up being -3 and -2. Sorry, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. It's supposed to be a -2. So negative divided by negative is a positive. You cannot simplify that anymore. So my m equals 3 divided by 2. All right, I'm going to send a worksheet that you can do. So I want you to follow these patterns. All right, thank you. The blue sheet was just scoped like this one. Sometimes those books can be a little bit more complicated, but it's the same thing. I will look at the blue sheet. If it's anything that you need to know on there, I'll do it, okay, and send it to you. All right, bye.